those are the cards on the table. When you're laying out the game and you're going to play a game, a high-stakes game, say in Las Vegas, where hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars are laying on the table, and you're playing a high-stakes game, you're going to have the cards you've got that you're playing. Well, one of the cards that's being used in this high-stakes game is, of course, oil. One of them is, of course, drugs. Drugs are very big business in the Middle East and in Europe, and so I feel that the drugs are one card, oil is a second card, the control of money, banking, fraternities, controlling the flow of commerce and business in the world, that's another card on the table. But above the cards are the players only using the cards. And I think the players in this world game that's being laid out for us now are guided not by the cards. They're guided by something else. There's something else going on here. And it has to do with secret societies and ancient religions.
Hi, I'm Jim Mars, and I've always been interested in secret things, alternative stories. My background is as a news reporter, and I learned early on about the so-called secret societies. And my question was, do they really exist? And more importantly, do they have any power? Over a period of 35 years, I have studied, read, talked, experienced, and I want to tell you they're real, they're here, and yes, within the inner core elite, they definitely have power. And I think this is an anathema to the whole concept of a free, open, and democratic America.
The concept of New World Order, even the term, before you even get into the whole subject matter, you only need to look at the term. New World Order is found in Latin underneath the pyramid on the dollar bill, Norvis Oda Seclorum, which comes from the Latin poet Ovid. So it's an old Roman concept, a Roman term. Roman symbolism is something that needs to be studied because you have the Roman eagle, which was then picked up by the Nazis, and now you find it in America. You find it at the top of the flagpoles, you find it on the federal government, you find it on the dollar bill, the symbol of the eagle. In the landing on the moon, you hear them talking about the eagle has landed. You know, what kind of eagle are we talking about here? And Novus Ordo Seclorum, New World Order, has a resonance with Nazi Germany because in Nazi Germany you have Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler's first book, the most important known book, was called Mein Kampf, but his second book was actually called The New World Order.
What do you feel is the major secret society? The Skull and Bones, or what is it? What's the name?
Probably the premier secret society is the Bilderbergs. They're so secretive they don't even have a name. They're called the Bilderbergs because they were discovered meeting first in the early 50s in a Bilderberg hotel over in Holland. They were being headed by Prince Bernhard of the Netherlands, who was a former SS officer. They are the inner core elite of other secret societies, the Council on Foreign Relations, the Trilateral Commission, and then they draw heavily from a very secretive campus fraternity by the name of Skull and Bones. President George W. Bush and his father, former President Bush, and his grandfather, Prescott Bush, were all members of this Skull and Bones society.
These fraternities are bloodlines, so they go long, back in history. The fact that they walk on the red carpet. The only queens and kings walk on red carpets. So how come your American presidents are doing it? Because they're bloodline. 43 American presidents, all the ones who became president, are directly linked to British monarchs by blood. From Roosevelt, in fact, all of them. All of the ones who became president are linked by bloodline to royal families, and the walking on the red carpet, which is the bloodline, proves it.
There's a group of probably 300 men that control most of the actions of the world. It boils down to what's known as like the 7 families. And between the 7 families, they all pretty much have divided up the earth as we know it.
At the heart of the secret societies lie some of the most powerful people in this country. Alan Greenspan, for example, can be connected to these people. These people run the major banks, major insurance companies. Now, we don't really stop and think about these folks or these organizations, but they exert a tremendous impact on the lives of every single individual citizen.
Well, my name is John Greenwald. I've been doing a website called The Black Vault for about 6 years. I research the connections on what the government has done, the investigations they've done in the past, and what I do is I scan all these documents on the internet and have archived over 107,000 pages on the internet. I was able to come up with a little bit of a weird coincidence with the 9/11 conspiracy. I found a document that was the government research into the terrorist organizations and terrorist groups and what their capabilities were and what exactly they may have been planning in the future. They profiled one in particular, and that was obviously Al-Qaeda. That doesn't really sound too strange, but the strange part is the government publication date on the document. And that publication date was September 10th, 2001, one day before the tragedy struck. So that in itself was very, very strange.
And then Adolf Hitler and his henchmen, people like Himmler, Goebbels, Rosenberg, were always talking about the fact that there was a 1,000-year Reich. They kept on using this term about a 1,000-year kingdom. Then we have George Bush later on talking about the 1,000 points of light. Right? We have George Bush using the term New World Order, I think it was in 2000, on September 11th. And September 11th, 2000, was the first time ever that George Bush used the term, we have to have a New World Order.
In regards to secret societies, yes. I mean, the very nature of man is to form these protective societies and conspire, if you will, breathing together. They all seem to be interlinked. The Illuminati, the Masons, the Club of Rome, P5, the Bilderbergers, the CFR, the Trilateralists. They seem to all be different offshoots of the same general secret club. And it's just a bunch of rich people. It's all people with $1 billion who all get together to decide how to either make more money or how to fleece the sheep, being us. What war is going to happen here or there, or what's going to happen between nations or powers. It's all aspects of political science, which are how to get populations to do what you want to gain further control.
So these terms that are on the dollar bill, that are on flags, take, let's say, in Zurich. In Zurich, you have the headquarters of the Illuminati. The headquarters of World Freemasonry is in Zurich, Switzerland. Over the door of that building is the term Ordo ab Chaos, which means order out of chaos. And Jordan Maxwell and other experts in this subject have talked about that means that the plan of government is to always orchestrate, to engineer chaos in order to create the order, later on. Out of chaos comes the order the people demand, security. All the events that we see down through time, tribulations caused by government, have this as a central principle. Wars are connected to this.
In researching these secret societies, what I found was really astounding. They're nothing new. They track back through older secret societies. They go back in through Illuminized Freemasonry, back to the Knights Templars, back through the Cathars, back through the Rosicrucians. You go all the way back to the ancient mystery schools of Greece and Egypt. And even those schools do not spring whole cloth into existence. They are remnants of the older secret societies in the world, which date all the way back to the ancient Sumerian civilization. And they left behind clay tablets still in existence, which basically state that they were the product of a colonization by people from space.
People have been living from day to day, never realizing the profound impact secrets have on us. Secret government, secret projects, secret knowledge. And today we are beginning to see that the world is in serious trouble. I believe that the things which are going on in the world today, not the least of which the Middle Eastern war and Middle Eastern intrigue, I think the machinations that are going on behind the scenes of world government are being orchestrated. I have no doubt in my mind, after 43 years of looking at this subject, that so much of our world, the wars, the violence, the bloodshed, the animosity among races, is purposely designed by someone. Catholic Church is involved in Israel. They're involved in the Holocaust. When the Nazis saw that the war was going bad for them and that they were going to lose the war, that was like 1944. All the top Nazis were given Vatican passports and given safe passage and money through the Vatican banks. Money was given to all the top Nazis to get them out. So the Vatican sent a bunch of Nazis to Uruguay, Paraguay, Brazil, Argentina. We know they're down there. Well, it's all Catholic down there. That's right. That's why they're down there. The scientists and the theoreticians, they sent directly through the CIA, which is the Knights of Malta organization for the Catholic Church. Catholic Church is CIA. CIA is Catholic Church. The CIA broke into the Watergate Hotel. Watergate Hotel is owned by the Vatican. The owners of the Watergate Hotel today in Washington, D.C. is owned by the Catholic Church. It's a Vatican owner. The Vatican owns the Watergate. And the CIA was in there doing their dirty work in the Watergate Hotel. And then they got Nixon kicked out of office because Nixon realized that the Vatican is involved in all this crap and the English involved in all this crap. So the Vatican set up their own people. Send the CIA into, well, we can't do it in just any place. That's all right. Send it to our hotel. We'll take care of it. Reinhard Gehlen was not only a Knights of Malta, but he was also one of the founders of today, the CIA. Reinhard Gehlen was the man in charge of security for Adolf Hitler. He was chief of security for the Nazi Empire, Reinhard Gehlen. And when he saw that things were going bad and they were going to lose, Reinhard Gehlen was chief of security. He's not an idiot. And this guy knows the war is up. We've lost. So he goes to the Vatican, and the Vatican gets him a ticket over here to work for America, and he comes over here and sets up something called the CIA. All of these religious leaders in America on television, they have contracts under the table with international oil cartels, drug cartels, banking cartels, and they are reaping in millions of dollars in private profits in European banks that American Christians have no idea in the world about. But all you have to do is just start doing some homework and checking on all of the so-called Christian leaders